Well, the problem with being my age is that whenever you ask me about something in the past, I don't have just 5 years to go back. But I can really say I was brought up Lebanese. A small group of Lebanese people came up here in, I think, the late teens, 1915 or so, and settled down. And they were a cluster, just as we'll have a little cluster of Polish people up here, French people here, Finns over here, and they kind of built their lives together. So among us, there was always the philosophy that everybody else should come first, just automatically. I recalled one day when my folks went to the door, and here were some relatives from Detroit that didn't tell us they were coming, carrying a basket of fruit, and they invited in. My folks slept on the sofa down here and put them in their bedroom. Never an argument. You know, you're not doing anything special. This is de rigueur. And we grew up that way, automatically, whenever we were involved with other people. And it didn't have to be Arabic people either. It just anybody. This one day surprised me. It was the day before Christmas. And so they closed the doors, locked them, and they put a long table in there, and it was all planned. The butcher had a ham or a turkey, whatever it happened to be for that season, in every basket all the way down the line. Then the produce man would have all the produce built in. Then we'd have candies and nuts. And my father would watch them. Now, put a little more in that one, you know, that sort of thing. And you could see him starting to beam. You know, this was his day. So I helped him put them all in the car. And I sat in the front seat, and I remember they came up to here in the window, so I couldn't have been very old. But I'd watch us as the sun went down, and it got dark, and the people would come to the door with a kerosene lamp. And there would be a dirt floor down below. They were barefoot, families. And this is the first time I ever realized how other people in the copper country ever lived. My parents at least had enough money so they could buy a car. And we had food always, but they'd go on a trip occasionally to relatives. We were all isolated 500 miles away. And every time they came back, they'd bring us a little toy, a teddy bear or a doll or something, my two sisters and I. And so we'd keep them in a huge treasure chest up in our room. And one day, my folks were not there. It was a Saturday, and our regular kids were playing in the dirt in the streets, having fun with little pieces of wood and such. So I don't know who got the idea first, but we opened the box of treasure chest and started taking these things out. We yelled out through the window, I think there was a word for it, chivalry or something like that, that they do at weddings and such. So we yelled out, and they all looked up at us. We started throwing these things out the window. And we just about half emptied the treasure chest. Again, enjoying every shot. And when my folks came home, they were furious until we explained what we were doing. And then I guess they understood. That was okay. So all our lives we'd done that. I can't think of any people of our Lebanese background that didn't. I think just from the whole attitude that you come second. That was always there. If there were 2 pieces of cookies left and there are 3 people, you just back away and give them to the other 2. It's just done. You consider yourself lucky if you were one of them, but never unlucky if you didn't. Well, in my mind, a philanthropist was a person who donates $1 million to a community for some reason, or builds a temple or something else like that. I never thought of little me sitting here and doing this day by day by day, because those are in the past, they're gone. So I never really thought of that. But I guess, and this is probably my Catholic upbringing as well, if you brag about what you've done, it zeroes out. You know, it should be done quietly, unobtrusively, and from the heart. Money never meant much to me, except we didn't have it. And when I'd go to school with my sisters, we'd walk the 7 or 8 blocks together, and I'd save my pennies whenever I got them until I had 5 of them. And then as we're walking, I would drop a penny about every block or so. And then when I come home for lunch, I'd say, there are only 4 pennies. Somebody got a penny. And finally, at the end of the week, they're all gone. And all I knew is that 5 people found a penny. And in those days, that was really a bonanza. That's all. I always thought the money is being valuable to somebody else, not to me.